What is up, YouTube family? We are back at it one more again, and we are here to break down what went wrong. Now, first of all, it's hilarious to watch this whole thing transpire because we called it from day one. I basically told all my people, told my family, my friends, all on social media, told my wife, told everyone around me that this election would not be close, that he would win majority of the swing states. That was the only thing I had wrong. He won all of the swing states. So I predicted this election like by 95%. And I actually predicted the electoral votes, the tally actually was only off by 10 points. I think it was 312 to 246 or so, or 236. I had it 302 to 226. So that was, I've made a lot of amazing predictions in my time, but this one right here was definitely the most incredible prediction that I've ever made. But it wasn't because I'm a psychic. It's because I get my information from the proper sources and I have common sense. Now, all these other people, these Democrats, are out here playing the blame game and trying to figure out why she lost. Not only lost, but how did she lose this bad? There were so many people that kept trying to tell me that, it was going to be a 50-50 race, that the polls were showing 50-50. I kept telling everybody, the polls are lying. They just did not want to see that. They thought I was batshit crazy for saying it. Now they're looking at it like I'm Cleo the psychic. They're like, how did he know this? And I'm like, it's because you're watching the wrong media. You're watching the wrong sources. So all these Democrats, they're trying to break down how they lost, and I'm trying to help coach them through it. I'm trying to give them common sense and good logic like I've been trying to do for the last 3 months. So let's get into this and let's see. I haven't watched it from the Democrat side of things when it comes to social media. I'm sorry, not social media, but legacy media. So let's go through this and let's see what they're talking about. And we're going to break it down piece by piece.
Now grappling with their stunning loss and trying to figure out what went wrong.
Had the president gotten out sooner, there may have been other candidates in the race. Kamala, I think, still would have won. But she may have been stronger, having taken her case to the public soon.
See, this is the type of delusion that I just don't understand with these people. She's sitting up here, first of all, everybody thought Pelosi was one of the people that got Joe out when they did. Maybe that's not accurate because she's basically trying to remove herself from that conspiracy by saying, oh, he shouldn't have gotten out sooner. Well, first of all, what she's not telling you, or what she doesn't want to say out loud, is that the biggest mistake that they made was Joe Biden was the DNC not having a primary, letting him run in the first place, not gotten out sooner. We knew he was old before he even tried to run again. We saw this years ago. And y'all should have been prepping a new candidate way back then. So she's saying, oh, there may have been other candidates in the race. Like there may have been. What are you talking about? You should have been able to say that there clearly were other candidates that could have done a better job. But that's bullshit because the candidates that were available were not going to be able to beat Trump. The only chance they had was Josh Shapiro, and he wasn't well known enough. and he's Jewish. So he would have had the whole Palestinian Israel thing going against him. That's why Kamala couldn't pick him as the VP. She had to go with the safer, dumber guy who she thought she could slide through to the people who would be like a nice guy or whatever, like a family man, and Tim Walz. But then once Trump labeled him Tampon Tim, they outed that dude really fast. He got ousted amazingly quick. You can't recover from being called Tampon Tim. I'm sorry. So their first mistake was, yes, they didn't run a primary to let the people vote for the strongest candidate amongst them, which probably would have been Josh Shapiro, because he's the one that's the smartest and speaks the best out of them. They're saying, oh, Kamala, I think, still would have won. How do you think that when she had the worst approval rating more than Buttigieg and Gavin Newsom? She had worse approval ratings than all of them. So what makes you think that she would have beat them? Also, she got smoked by Tulsi Gabbard the last time she debated. She got 0 delegates. 0 delegates. So how do you assume that she would have beat anybody in a current debate when she got dismantled the last time she was in a debate? You know, let's continue. This shit is just wild because they set her up for failure, and what she's saying is a little bit true that Joe should have been able to give her more time than the 3 months that she had, but it still wouldn't have made a difference.
I think people never got to know Kamala Harris during the time she was in this campaign.
If the goal is to win elections on Twitter, then you should embrace movements like defund the police. But if the goal is to win elections in the real world, where it matters, then you have to appeal to working class people of color.
The party itself has increasingly become a smarty pants, suburban, college-educated party.
Yep.
Take issue sometimes with people saying, oh, the quote unquote left is the reason why this is happening. The ultimate problem is our ability to clearly and forthrightly advocate for an agenda that clearly champions the working class.
Thank you. Now they're finally coming to the grips of reality. They're starting to look in the mirror. They have no choice. When you have 90% of the people vote against you, when are you going to stop and look in the mirror and say, hey, maybe something wrong with me, instead of trying to blame everybody else and say, hey, something wrong with the country? Just maybe it's you. Did you ever stop and think about that? So I appreciate AOC for finally acknowledging this, because she's been one of the main culprits in why people no longer rock with the party. All these different people they're showing are people that people are disgusted with. You know, every time we see these people, you know, especially when you go and look at, you know, shows like The View, like they are like the most hated show on TV right now. Now you're seeing the ratings drop for CNN and MSNBC. They went from 13 million down to like 800,000. They're losing ratings like you've never seen before. The people are making a stand and showing these people who's really running shit and what we really think about them. And it's so sweet to watch. It is so sweet to watch, because the people that are in my circle that were watching this shit, they were looking at this thing as they were disgusted with some of these people and some of their rhetoric and some of their viewpoints, because we're seeing this thing as clear as glad, like it gets no clearer than for us. Like even my kids can watch this shit and see, you know, who is who and what is what. they can read between the lines and see who's telling the truth and who's fake. So the fact that these people can't get out of their bubble long enough to see the writing on the wall and their own delusion is pretty wild to me. But it's good to see some of these people starting to wake up. Like I just saw Charlemagne the God on the Breakfast Club basically saying that he basically flip-flopped that fast on Kamala and basically said that it's crazy how they're not calling him a fascist and a Nazi now. They're all getting in line, and he's like, did they believe their own rhetoric, or was it just politics? You know what I'm saying? So you're starting to see these people have no choice but to bow down and get in line. They're just going to be way in the back now because we've been on this train for quite a while.
Joe Biden's decision to run for president again was a catastrophic mistake.
But we can all unite in knowing that Joe Biden would have lost and deserves a lot of blame for the situation that we're in.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about
Yeah, it's good to watch all these pundits having to deal with their loss, having to take their L and having to go back and regroup and try to go back to the drawing board. And like I said, look in the mirror and figure out what they did wrong, because there's so many different things. Now we can go through a severe list of it all. But it would take too long. It would take too long to try to break down. Maybe I'll do a video of all the single things that Kamala did wrong. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'll do a video and break down all the mistakes that she made along the way, because there were so many, and it was all common sense. It was so much common sense in there. She made so many mistakes. I mean, just for the simple fact that she did her very first rally with Megan Thee Stallion twerking. When you saw that first rally, you should have known that this was going to be a total shit show. Yes. So stay tuned. Let me know what you think in the comments, but stay tuned. And we're going to break down all the mistakes of the election, and we're going to go through it piece by piece, and then we're going to talk about what they need to do to try to save some face throughout these next 4 years, and what they need to do to basically revamp the whole party and try to come back in 2028 with a much better plan. Now, the last thing I'll say is a lot of people divested from voting Democrat because we wanted to show them a lesson. We wanted to teach them a lesson, to show them that you don't automatically get the black vote anymore like you used to. This is what Ice Cube and myself tried to tell people in 2020. Now when they come to the table this time, they're going to have to really bring some serious policies and some serious money to the people, especially the black community, because we've shown them single-handedly in this election that they can no longer pimp us, that they can no longer just assume that they're going to get our vote. And I told people, I said, use Trump as leverage to get what you want on the next one. Now when they come to the table next time, they're going to have to talk things like reparations. They're really going to have to pour billions of dollars into the black community. So you might not understand what's going on right now, but trust me, we did you a favor in the future. Until next time, I'll holler at y'all. 100.